Good morning and welcome to the Op at Home. I'm Fletch, I'm one of the game designers here at the Op, and today we're going to be taking a look at Friday the 13th, Horror at Camp Crystal Lake. It is a high-tension, take-that, push-your-luck game with all of the excitement and thrills of the Friday the 13th horror movie franchise. So if you really enjoy the tension that comes from knowing that Jason Voorhees could be right around the corner at any moment, you're really going to enjoy this game. Playing Friday the 13th, Horror at Camp Crystal Lake is one long series of thrills, just like the classic horror movie franchise. So in this game, you'll be reaching into this bag here and trying to pull out supply tokens. Now, these supplies are going to help you survive 5 nights at Camp Crystal Lake. But be careful, because there aren't just supplies, you'll also find Jason Voorhees lurking in the bag. Pull out 2 of these Jason Voorhees tokens, and that's it for the night. You're chased back to the cabin, you lose all your supplies, and you can't score any more points until the next round begins. Jason's not the only threat you'll face in this game, as this time around it's every archetypal teenager for themselves. Each player has a hand of fear cards, and these fear cards can be used to mess with other players. Sometimes it's as simple as stealing the supplies that they've collected tonight. Other times it's as vicious as turning Jason's attentions from them to you. Now, if you're lucky, you might have the defense cards needed to turn the tables back on them and block their actions. Either way, there's going to be a lot of backstabbing happening in the camp tonight. As you collect your resources, you're trying to make sets. Sets are great because the more of one item you have, that'll double the points for other items in your collection. There's also a bonus at the end of each night for the player who brings back a specific set of supplies. But if you try to move too quickly and go for that, you may miss out on the opportunity to collect more supplies as the night goes on. And there's a bravery bonus for those players who have the nerve to keep searching while others are chased off or return to the cabin on their own. Once each of the teenagers has been chased back to the cabin by Jason or has decided to return there on their own, points are rewarded in the form of blood spatter tokens. All of the supplies and Jason tokens are returned to the bag for the next night's search, and 1 more Jason token is added to the bag to make it that much more difficult on subsequent nights. Then each player is dealt 2 new fear cards, and the next round begins. After 5 rounds, the player with the most blood spatter points wins the game. To set up the game, give each player a player board and the matching player token that goes with that board. Shuffle the fear cards and deal 5 cards to each player. Make sure each player has a backpack card so that they can store supplies as they play the game. Shuffle the critical supply cards and put 1 of them on the cabin board. Place the night token on the first space of the cabin board, and then taking 4 Jason tokens from the supply, place 1 on each of the remaining nights. Take all of the remaining Jason tokens and supply tokens, put them in the bag, give it a good shake. You're good to go. The last player to have watched a horror movie gets to take the first turn. On your turn, you have 3 options. You can do one of these things each turn. You can draw a token from the bag, you can play a fear card, or you can return to the cabin on your own. When you draw a token from the bag, you'd simply reach in, pull something out. If you get a supply token, that's great. These are worth points for you at the end of the round. If you get a Jason token, that's bad. If you get 2 of these in front of you for the round, he'll chase you back to the cabin. You lose all your supplies, no points for you this round. Playing fear cards is where some of the strategy in this game comes in. Now, these cards will help you build your own supply pool more efficiently or mess with other players. Sometimes they do both at the same time. There are also defensive cards in this deck that you can use in response to other players attacking you with their own fear cards. These can be played anytime you need them. When you feel like you've gathered enough supplies to survive the night, you can return to the cabin. To do this, take your player token and place it on the first available bravery bonus space on the cabin board. Then, if the supplies you've collected match the critical supply objective card on the board, you can claim that card, which will be worth points at the end of the round. Now, returning to the cabin means you can't search for supplies anymore this round, but it also means that other players can't target you with fear cards. So keep that in mind when you decide it's time to return to the cabin. Once you've done one of these 3 things, your turn ends and it's the next player's turn. Pressure is all on them. So that's Friday the 13th, Horror at Camp Crystal Lake. It's great for 3 to 6 players, it's $29.99, and it's recommended for ages 17 and up due to its slasher horror themes. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned to the Op.Games and our social media channels for updates on this and other great games coming to you from the Op.